Hey guys, and welcome back. It's Brendan Borman, and in today's video, I'm going to be playing the mobile game 270, specifically in this first match, playing the Democratic primary mode. Now, I'm actually playing as George W. Bush, and I didn't even know that was allowed until I did this match. The game technically won't let you choose a Republican candidate for the Democratic primary mode, but if you last played a Republican, you can actually choose the last candidate. Same thing if you have a subscription to 270, you invest actual money and you get all of the candidates, which I highly recommend, by the way. It's the best way to play 270. You can play all different people. If that ever expires, you can always continue to play with the last candidate that you played as over and over again. So as long as you don't change, you can still play with a powerful candidate, for example. Now, what I did in this match, I opened up in Nevada, Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina, all of the states that close early on. Eventually, I will get $50,000 of bonus money, but because George W. Bush is a Republican, he's not going to have any bonuses in any of the Democratic primary mode national groups. And so there's really no reason to fight Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders. And with a 3-player multiplayer, we're going to have a lot of potential conflicts. So I'm doing my best to avoid confrontation. And, both the players have already entered into Virginia, so it's safe for me to enter into Virginia. And they've already invested some money there. So if I can steal that, even though I am potentially spending more money than I might have to, I'll get the delegates and they won't. Now, unlike the general election mode, which is 99.99% of 270 games that are played, there is not a magical number of 270 that's required to win. You need to have the majority of the delegates. And so this, again, if I was playing against real people, it would be way harder. I just wanted to have some primary mode content, some more content on my channel, especially for players who have never tried primary mode before, just to see what it's like. Right now, all players have access to all of the states, but that is going to change as we get later and later in the game. There was actually a functionality of the game where it is a set number of turns. It's not once there's 100 EVs locked in and every state is entered into. And actually, just to show you, I am going to intentionally not invest into all of the states or states that are going to close off. So after turn number 7, the February states close. That includes Alabama and many other states. So let's just see what that looks like. A friendly reminder that there are lots of ways to support 270 videos and my content creation. I love it when people comment on my videos and I can interact with them. Liking and subscribing, of course, will let 270 go out into the masses. And we have a brand new Buy Me a Coffee page where you can support monetarily. You can give video suggestions. I can even give YouTube shout outs. And there's a shop functionality. If you want to check that out, I will leave a link in the description. Now, the February states are now closed off. So you can see the lines that are through Nevada, Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. Those are ours. Those cannot be stolen. And actually, we can't even invest any more money in those. And so instead of going back and wasting more time and reading which states close off, because it is the AI, I'm just going to use the West Coast. And even though we have a clash in Colorado, I'm going to double pip all of the states. And they're pretty cheap out on the West Coast. And then I can start making my way toward the East. Again, I will have maybe one more turn before more states are closed off. And I will not have enough money to reach every single open state. And so I can show you again what would happen if states are not filled in. Let's do some big ones here: Iowa, Ohio, Illinois. And just enough money, we can also do Louisiana. So also, I did get a new laptop. It's not the most fancy laptop, and I don't have the best Wi-Fi connection at my house, but I can also do it at my local community center or at my school where I work. And hopefully I can get some more live streams. I know I love it when people can actually play with me live. I just need to have the proper setup. So bear with me as I experiment in the coming days and weeks so that we can play 270 together. And hopefully we can continue to build this community as we get closer to the election this November. Now, this video is going to be kind of boring in the beginning, and I realize that the primary mode is not the most fun way against the AI, so I will get another match, which will be a general election. We also are not in New York yet, so let's go ahead and do that. Trying to think of which candidate I haven't been in a while so that when we play the general election match, I can be them. I've been Donald Trump a lot lately. I've also played as Joe Biden. Maybe I can be RFK. I've actually had a lot of coworkers lately talking about RFK. I feel like he's starting to get some mainstream people who don't like talking about politics, just people talking about him. I don't think he's going to win or anything, but you never know. So we already have 2,610 delegates. We have some more money to spend. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And if you look at Maine and Vermont, Tennessee, North Carolina, and Arkansas, those are all white states that have already been filled in. So in this 270 primary mode match, none of the candidates are going to get credit for those delegates. We do have, of course, Virginia locked. We did it earlier. Minnesota is gone, so is Colorado. Kentucky and West Virginia might as well be gone. And Michigan is going to be gone as Bernie Sanders has that. Maybe I could do a Republican primary mode later. And actually, if I do a live stream, maybe we can play a primary mode live stream match. That would be a little bit more fun, and that probably would be the best way to coordinate people to come together to play primary mode. It's just really hard because there's no interest really from people who play 270 on, just a casual basis. And then you have the people who are on the 270 Facebook Lounge. There might be like an occasional tournament that involves primary mode, but nothing major that I'm aware of. Anyway, if I could go back and do this again, I don't know if there's, a method to this, if you should play with national groups, because the game is really only a minute number of turns. If you spend like the first 3 turns going national groups, you really are giving up quite a bit. But then again, you only have to get to the second pip of every state. And I feel like even though we didn't go national groups, we have the chance to pretty much get into every state. Now, we are getting several state group bonuses, having those different segments we have control over, like California and definitely Iowa. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. This probably is one of the least entertaining videos I've ever put out, but it's been a few days since, I've put anything 270 related out, and I want to make sure that this video gets out there. And if you guys have any ideas for future videos, you can always comment them below if you want priority. That's actually something that you can purchase under the Buy Me a Coffee. If you do that, I will make the video that you want me to see, whether it's me playing a rematch of a presidential election, if it's a challenge, that's a good way for me to try it. And even if it's unsuccessful, I will record it, I will give you a shout out. But anyway, feel free to do that. Any money that I make off of that buy me a coffee, I'm just going to reinvest that back into my channel in the technology and equipment. That way I can get better streams. Here we go. We have a JFK. Let's go ahead and get RFK Jr. like I was talking about. Good luck to Jose. This is going to be a fairly quick match. We are going to do a 2-minute timer. JFK has boosts in youth vote, 58%. RFK is a pretty weak candidate inside the game of 270. We do not want to have him have access to all 3 of the Democratic national group bonuses, and so we are going to double pip into youth votes, which we do have a clash. We could go up to the magical pip in youth vote, but then what if, JFK decides to spend more than the minimum? He did not, and so he would have clashed. However, whoops, I accidentally took a screenshot there. Sorry about that. We are now going to go up and get our labor and environment bonus, which is 35%. JFK does have an Old South and a swing state bonus, as well as high tech and town and gown. And so we are going to start off in this new inverted Old South bonus. We are facing pressure in labor and environment, and women's movement does go to JFK. So JFK does have 2 bonuses to our 1. We can now go up in Old South. It looks like that JFK might be a state chaser. We're going to defend our labor and environment bonus, maybe for 1 more turn. After that, I probably will leave it be. But yes, there's some pressure in, interesting, the labor and environment as well as Georgia in some of the Old South. So we have $400,000 of pure cash. I do have $50,000 of Old South. So we are going to open up into South Carolina, Maryland, and Mississippi. We are also going to save $165,000, which will allow me to pivot if necessary. JFK has gone for an all-out steal of Georgia, which was successful, and that will take away my Old South bonus. He is now in a bonus advantage as well as having a cash advantage. We do have an uncontested way to get back the Old South. But what we're going to do is we are going to target the youth vote bonus. So North Carolina is the next state to flip blue. It goes all the way to the 10th pip. However, our 6th pip steal of youth vote is successful, and so now we're back to 2 bonuses to 2. We're going to open up into Alabama and Arkansas with our Old South money. And then I'm really on the fence with leaving youth vote for 1 turn or locking it. I'm going to go ahead and lock it. And New York is going to be the next play. So we are facing pressure now in Virginia. So let's see here. We're going to lock Virginia because he has shown the ability to go up and just lock states. We're also going to go up in Utah, Arizona, and in D.C. for town and gown. And labor and environment flips. Wow. So JFK is not giving up on these national groups. We're back to 2 bonuses aside. I could double pip New York, leaving me 107, where if I go in, oh man, I'm not going to be able to do Utah, D.C., and Arizona. Oh, I can go ahead and defend Maryland by 1 pip. I'm also going to open up into New Hampshire because I'm not going to have enough money to get town and gown. Just in case I get lucky and can get African American. But I did not. So probably not my best move. I could have used that $40,000 in Utah somewhere else possibly. If I am now JFK, you're really close to flipping that Old South bonus because he hasn't got to defend any of his states. They're already locked. I'm going to spread out in African American as well as get that town and gown bonus. I am expecting pressure in Arizona, and there it is, because that is a natural pivot point with AA And in Town and Gown, there is New York pressure. So even though we have a 162 to 42 EV lead and the small Town and Gown bonus because of our penalty, we're going to be forced to spend pure cash defending New York. And we're going to go up in Delaware, Massachusetts, Michigan, and enter into Pennsylvania. We're going to be really close in getting our high-tech bonus. But we really need to get African American this turn. We do lose Arizona, which might be painful. However, I think we'll be okay with us keeping New York and getting Michigan. Yeah, so there's $114,000 of African American money. We're going to get into Florida as soon as possible. Going to try and steal back Arizona, defend Alabama and Louisiana using our Old South money. And then with the rest of our $200,000, we're going to go up in Pennsylvania. Try to keep Massachusetts and Michigan, which are 1 pip candidates for steals. He does go for 1 pip in Alabama and is blocked, but he also spent $400,000 the last 2 turns in big conservative, which is a very interesting strategy because, of course, JFK has a big conservative penalty, only netting him $35,000. So I think he was counting on taking away African American and using that pure cash to pencil, scrape us away. I don't know if that's a real saying or not, but to just really small chunk us to death. I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but basically we can go up in some swing states of Nevada and Iowa. We can go up in Florida, which should help us keep our African-American bonus as well as venture over to swing states. Louisiana is not stolen. Massachusetts is. I almost defended Massachusetts. So that high-tech bonus is going to be gone. We are going to convert that to swing states, so just a small $14,500 loss, but we are able to sneak over to California and have access to that first. Michigan feels like the obvious steal. Let's go up in Iowa and Nevada, enter into Wisconsin, and then again I have all of this African American and the Old South bonus. And so let's put our AA money into Michigan. We are going to then have just a little bit of Town and Gown and a little bit of Old South. Let's lock Alabama with our Old South bonus, and then we will roll over that extra Town and Gown bonus into the next turn. We have a 10-pip clash in Alabama. We have a 10-pip clash in Michigan. And so even though we keep Pennsylvania and we have some pretty decent clash equity, it's really a net neutral. And so we're going to continue to clash in Michigan. We are, let's see here, looking at Pennsylvania and New York. I doubt I hold Pennsylvania for the rest of the game, knowing that JFK is a go all in and steal a state type of player. But we are able to lock Alabama. He is continuing to spend in Michigan, and he just spent enough to block Michigan. There really isn't much I can do as far as forcing a ballot. I can try to get into all the states, but we're just under 100 EVs by my calculation, and I don't quite have enough money. Yeah, because I'd have to get into New Jersey and then not have enough for Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maine, or Vermont. I do have some bonus money that I can put like into New York or into Florida. I could go for an Illinois steal. I'm backtracking. I'm going to go ahead and flip Massachusetts by 1. I'm going to defend New York by 2. And then I'm going to end my turn partially because I don't know what to do with my money and also because I have officially run out of time. I did not steal Massachusetts, and so that money will go down the drain, that Town and Gown money. But we already have 245 EVs. New York was not stolen. And now I can put that money of swing and AA back into Florida. And let's try this again. So I should be able to 1 pip every single state. because I was just using bonus money in Florida, I'll have an additional turn's worth of cash. He did lock Massachusetts, so now we are over 100 EVs. And so if we avoid a clash, we will have a ballot round before the last turn. So fingers crossed we don't have a ballot. Or actually, fingers crossed we do have a ballot, I guess. I don't know if it matters. I think I'm going to win either way. But let's just go ahead and force the issue. Tired. Need to get some more sleep. JFK locks Pennsylvania. We do get Texas uncontested. Wisconsin is not locked, but he used his bonus money there. And he does unlock swing. However, we are at a ballot round. So last turn, he's not going to spread out. I could go ahead and try to flip Illinois. I'm also going to go up in Missouri and Minnesota and Ohio because of the large EVs. I'm also going to go Washington because EVs make sense. Same thing with New Jersey, Connecticut, Oklahoma. And I have 60K left. I ran out of time, but I probably would have gone up in 1 pip in Indiana and Kentucky. So anyway, if I had more time, that would have been my move. It's not going to matter, though, because, well, Indiana flips, but Illinois goes back to RFK. We have a clash in New Jersey. We have a clash in Ohio. So lots of clashes. Lots of RFK love in the air. 430 electors. We do win without going up to the 3rd pip in either California or Texas. And there's your final score. Good game to my opponent. Hip, hip, Jose. Subscribe for future 270 content, and I'll catch you guys in the next 270 video.